Good evening, YouTubers. Welcome to episode 88 of Shrigleytube TV. Thanks again for all the comments last week, and also thanks for joining with me tonight to watch tonight's video. We've had quite a different, well, not different, we had an interesting week. We had James up on Thursday. First part of the week I got on with Mike Loughlin's engine, got a nice tune out of that. That was lovely. So that was the one with the steel crankshaft in it. That's gone back together. And James brought his engine. We had a really busy day. Worked through to 11:30 at night and ran it, not loads, but we ran it enough to know that it wasn't mixing and wasn't breathing and wasn't dripping, etc. So got a good tune out of his engine, saw some promising torque figures. So he's going to finish running that in, and then he's going to be at Donington Park on the 22nd, Saturday. That's next Saturday, isn't it? Yeah, so I'm going to be there as well. And then there's a bit of a twist. I just realised when I was looking at the map that if I get back on the M1 and go down about 3 junctions, I'm at Northampton. So I can go to watch the imps in the daytime, and then me and Dougie, we're going to go on and watch the stock cars in the evening. So that'll be good. So we'll get you a full report anyway on Shrigleytube live from, well, not live, but you know, day after from Donington next Sunday. But this week we've got Mike, James, and then I did a little bit of messing about on a Friday, a bit of a treat. I took the head off or tried to take the head off the Audi that had gone poorly. So there's a bit about that. And then right at the very end of the video, we've got my mate Tim from Jersey. He'd done a little thank you note and sent me a little video with some in-car, which was really kind of him. Thank you, Tim. So Tim sent me some in-car from Bovington in his Mark II Escort with the Cosy engine that we give a bit of a refresh to. So that's really good. And if you want to check his channel out, it's Jersey Tim 100. Brill, hope you enjoy what you see, and I look forward to seeing you next Sunday at 7. Bye for Good now. Morning, YouTubers. Thought I'd start the week by saying hello on the screen and welcome back. Just been reading through some of the comments from last night's video over the Carter engine. Very touching, some brilliant comments there. Thank you very much. Yeah, lovely sunny day today. You can just see if you've got the blinds open so we can see outside. It's gorgeous. However, I'm in here. I'll turn the camera around. We're going to crack on with Mike's engine. So this is Mike Loughlin's 1040. It's on its, well, this will be the beginning of its 3rd season since it was a fresh engine. So it's yeah, what can I say about it? It's just been good as gold, really. He does look after it. He's a good guy, and he did spec it well. So we got a Farndon crankshaft for it, and the crank is just absolutely like new. So giving it a quick polish, clean. It's got all the bungs removed because obviously we're going to put you can see the nice and clean all the way through now. Going to put the bungs back in that, new set of bearings, be all good to go again. The block, 3rd season, it's still like new. I can't believe it. Absolutely no, I just literally put a bog rush down there. There's no wear at all in it. It uses good oil. The cylinder head, the seats were just getting a bit ropey on it, and it done quite a bit. Now this head, when it came to me, it had a big whack. So I welded it all up all the way along. I don't know if it was before Shrigleytube came about. Probably was, actually. It had so much off the face that I had to weld up the oil pressure bung. Anyway, I said to Mike, look, it was a good head. It was a Rodwell Motorsport head. And I said, look, you know, it's such a good head. I think that it'd be worth trying to save it. But if it doesn't work, we'll just bin it and do you a fresh one. Anyway, 3 seasons later, and all I ever do is faceplate it. As I say, this time I've just put some, recut the seats on it. But yeah, the head's really good on it. It seems to work quite well. I've just got one of his pistons and rods out. There's just absolutely nothing wrong with it at all. But we'll be putting new pistons in. And I'm going to try and make, see, it's got a little intruder in the middle, like the size of a 2p piece. I'm going to try and make some better intruders for it. So we'll go through that on the lathe and the milling machine later. So that's the plan for that. And then, yeah, by Tuesday, well, this should go together fairly well because it's already been there. So I should be able to get this back together today, stroke tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, we've got young James coming, and we're going to have a do with this new engine. We've got all the bits machined. We've just got to clean it all and decide what we're going to do, exactly what spec. And then he'll help me all day, and we'll just finish at whatever time we finish with it. Right, brilliant. I'm going to crack on anyway, get some work done. Okay, YouTubers, quick update in the workshop. It's Monday dinner time. I can't even think what day it was then. I've been busy on Mike's engine, got the crank in, goes round lovely. I've just been doing the piston heights. This is his new pistons. You might recall a couple of minutes ago we saw his old pistons, which had like an intrusion on them to gain compression ratio. And this year we're going to make a bit more effort with them. What we're going to do is we're going to nibble around the outside like that, and then I'm going to, where the squish area is, I'll face it with a milling cutter, and I'll create a big rectangle in the middle for intrusion. So his engine was quite high compression already, but we're going to try and get it into the high 12s, because he's proven that he's looked after the engine and he's kept the temperature under control. It's temperature that I'm fearful of. So he's obviously got good temperature control, so I feel that we can get him into the 13-to-1 area and not worry about it starting to detonate. It's all very well seeing good horsepower on the dyno here and saying, oh, look at that, it's doing this, it's doing that. But out in the track, when it's not running cool as a cucumber, if it starts to run hot because it's, or maybe you've had a red flag situation and you've all been sat on the grid at Brands and it's baking hot, 28 degrees, obviously once the detonation starts, you can't stop it. So that's the doorbell interrupting me. So we're going to give him a bit more compression, and I was going to take these over to the miller now and put them on here, but I can't because it was already set up for doing the cylinder heads. So what I've done is I've just put James's cylinder in. Looks like it's been ground, this. I've never seen that before, but it's been ground. I've just measured the wheel string grooves. They're 60 thou. So what I'm doing is I'm going to give it a minimum lick, reduce them to about 55, 56 thou, so we get a good 17th hour pinch on the wheel string. I better go answer the door before he wears a battery out. Okay, sorry about that, YouTubers. Had someone banging on my door. Just my pal calling in for a minute. Anyway, I thought we'd skim the head, get the wheel strings done on it. So this is now ready for the seats to be cut, and then we'll redo the chamber, etc. If you can just see inside there, I've lowered the guide height, so we're a bit closer to where we were last week, and I've also machined the other side of it for the deep cam carrier. So if you look, you'll see it's quite thin now, the head, but I've not cleaned up over here because there was no point. That's just where the paper gasket goes. The rest of it is all flat. Obviously, if you can imagine, I've tilted it on the angle like this to try and create a wedge head. And we've got my target depth now of 54, 50, 55 thou. So we get good pinch on the wheel strings. So they all drop in lovely. That's nice. So I'll drop back onto Mike's engine now. We'll get the pistons on the miller and machine them ready so they can get the bottom end together. That halfway through machining the pistons, I've just done the one side, the valve side. So I've knocked that down to the outside, same level as this area here, which is basically level with the top of the block. So it allows us 20 thou for stretch on the exhaust firing, on, I should say, on the exhaust stroke when the piston's got no compression above it and it carries on going. Anyway, just last bit now. I've marked all the other sides out, so we've got them all marked out. And what I do, it's really crude and simple, this, but I use this right angle tool here to basically line that up with the scribe mark, so I know it's straight to the miller, and then I just wind this handle backwards and forwards, and that basically cuts the material away dead straight to that line. So we'll do that next, and then we'll tidy them all up, give them all a bit of a deburr, make them all nice and smooth, just because detonation always picks on a corner wherever it can get the heat into it quickest. So we'll make them all nice and smooth, and then we'll have a dry build on, and we'll get a CC going and see we've got our target compression ratio or not. Okay, YouTubers, it's Wednesday dinner time. I feel like I've been neglecting you guys. I didn't do any YouTube yesterday whatsoever. It was Tuesday yesterday. I just grafted proper, got my head down, like no interruptions, no phone calls, nothing, just battled it. And I managed to build this engine for Mike Loveland. So it was a refresh job. It already existed. In fact, this is when we did the talk on the seal crankshaft on Friday last week, or was it Saturday? So it's all back together again, and you've seen it early in the video. I've just made them pistons with the little intruder on top. So did all that, got the compression ratio a little bit higher, but then to be fair, it is a little bit lower now because I've just had a little bit of an experiment with the chamber shape, which I'm hoping is going to result in some more torque. So we'll get this wound up. I've just been running it. It's absolutely sweet as a nut. This is Mike's engine. I think he's had it about three seasons now. So he just had it refreshed, ready for next year, or for this year, sorry. So it's got all fresh bits in it, and I've got a bit more running in to do, and then we'll wind it up. In the background, I've been doing little bits on James's head this morning, and we're going to have James with us tomorrow, hopefully. Well, not hopefully, he's definitely coming, and he's going to try and build his engine up. I've got the block clean, the crank's done, the rods, the pistons, the head's halfway there. We've got his posh new carrier. I've had to machine all the head. In fact, I'll do a chat on the head in a second. I'll just wrap it up. In the background, I've been sneaking off and doing a little bit on James's head. So the other day we put the guys back in again, but shortened them, etc. I've recut the seats. The valve height is a little bit low. It was low to start with, but at least I've got a good uniform seat now that we can lap the valves in and get a real good seal. Obviously, I've skimmed it on the angle, redone the wheel string groove, so I know that we're going no problems with sealing. The head looks really nice, to be fair. The other week when I did a batch of these, I machined this back so you can see it's all been chopped back. So it's going to take the new style manifold, which will be a straighter run into the engine. And then on this side, this is where all the argy-bargy started off. The new cam carrier, I went to fit it. I just did a bit of a dry build, get a valve height, etc. And I realised that it intrudes, because it's got like, I'll show you the cam carrier in a minute. It's got like little intruder sleeves that go into the head to support the buckets, because it's on a big bucket. It's on a 31mm bucket. So it's had to have a load of machining done there. So done all that. Obviously just reef spot faced all. It's just generally clean up the engine. And then again, to get some compression back, I set the machine up and re-spot faced all of the spark plug holes, so that we can just, it sounds crazy, doesn't it? You know, we're not talking about massive gains, but it brings the plug into the chamber and just allows us to gain that little bit of compression, because obviously we're always fighting to try and, it's a bit of a trade-off between chamber shape and compression ratio. Both things work, but if you have a really good chamber shape, you've obviously got no compression. And if you've got a really bad chamber shape, you end up with loads of compression, but the burn doesn't burn properly. So it's a bit of a trade-off trying to get it all to work properly. But I've got to finish doing the ports on this, bit of port alignment with the new manifold, and then I'll be lapping valves in, and hopefully we'll get a build on with the valves before James arrives tomorrow, because when he gets here, I want him to be putting sumps on and etc, so we can get a run out of his engine. Right, I'll stop waffling and get this other engine warmed up and ran. Okay, YouTubers, we've got Mike's engine on dyno. Thought we'd do the final blart together. I would like to have said that my little changes that I've made, made it an absolute rip snorter, but unfortunately it's mirroring what it did last year. So there you go, we tried. I've been up with the fuel and I've tried more advanced, I've tried everything, but I've basically ended up back where I was with last year's settings. But that's fine, it goes well, and it's absolutely beautifully well behaved as normal. It's just no oil leak this time. If you remember, this is the crankshaft that I showed you we had a report of an oil seal leaking, and I couldn't understand it because I'd actually been to his house and changed the rear seal, took the engine out with him. But the reason I hadn't been able to fix it was because there was Loctite that when I put the flywheel bolts on after taking it off the dyno, I'd managed to get too much Loctite on the job, and it had gone in the seal, and of course it was stuck to the diameter that the seal runs on, so the seal had no chance, which is why it carried on leaking. Anyway, we're over that now, it's nice and dry, so I just thought we'd do a final blart. It's really strong, it does everything I'd expect it to do for this spec of engine. Obviously it's got a good head on it, and we are running a wheel parity exhaust system with a 45mm Delorto. It was not 40, so it was all about chasing the top end horsepower, so it's pretty numb down below. But once he picks his toes up, he's good, strong. I've been seeing 84, 85 foot-pound out of it, about 6. Just load him up. 5,000, about 73. It does go at 5.5. On there, 7 is holding about 78, 79 foot-pound, 8,000. Just got a little groggy bit down below, but that's just the size of the carburetors. We can't do a great deal about that, but it won't bother Mike because he's obviously got his close ratio 4-speed dog box. So I'm really excited to see how he gets on at Donington on the 22nd of this month. Not long to go. I'll just do a low end figure so we can get a grab a bit of front. Oh, exhaust has fell off. So it's that 4,000 area there, about 60 something foot-pound. Never going to be down there on track, hopefully. Handy the exhausters fell off, because I get to see if it makes any actual difference. Never normally does. Wonderful. Well, we'll pull this off the dyno. In fact, what we'll do is we'll go in, have a quick look round, just make sure there's no oil leaks. Mike's got a lovely floor in his garage, he hates oil leaks. Let's go and see. This is probably going to end up very messy, but I did go on the other day about the steel crankshaft engines having the sludge traps in, and how it tended to make the oil stay cleaner because all the hard particles in the oil got flung to the sludge traps in the crank. And I always, every time I dyno something that's got a steel crank in, or a new engine, you know, the oil comes out really clean. So what we're going to do is we're going to drain the oil live now. Just turn the engine off. It's hot. It's going to go into this pan, and then we're going to go from this pan into the waste can for the burner. And we're going to look, I do this every engine because we're going to look for any signs of particulates or bits of anything that might indicate that something isn't quite happy in the engine. Because it obviously, while it's all buoyant now, when it lands in here, the heavy particles will settle. I'm hoping it's just going to be like golden, you know, but we shall see. I'm probably going to go straight over the edge here, aren't I? Oh, no, managed not to get it everywhere. So you can see it's pretty clean. So we'll let most of it come out. And then what we'll do is put the plug back in, and I'll attempt to drop the oil into the can one-handed, and we'll look what's left in the steel tray. Another good indicator of whether an engine is knackered, by the way, is always stick your finger in the plug hole and have a mooch around the bottom, because that's where it all settles. You can see that one's absolutely gleaming, there's nothing in it. So I was always going to be confident, to be fair, when I started doing this little video, that it was going to be okay, but it's always worth checking, because you just never know if something's starting to pull a face. It's easy to catch it when it's in the workshop. It's not easy to catch it when they're at practice at Donington. It's all gone wrong. We'll drain the rest of that oil shortly. I'll just put that in a couple of threads. Incidentally, that is an absolute fail point. Never ever do what I just did. Always put the sump plug back in and then tighten it, because what happens is, if you put it in and don't tighten it, the next person that comes to the job thinks that you've put it in and tightened it and just puts it in the car. And I have had a situation where I was on the dyno an engine, and I thought, that's got no oil pressure, I better turn it off. And then when I came in the dyno, there was 5 litres of oil on the floor, and the sump plug was on the floor as well. And I hadn't checked it, but the person that had drained the oil out, like I asked them to before they brought the engine to me, had put it back in finger tight. So it just, as soon as the engine ran for half an hour, it vibrated and fell out. So never leave a sump plug loose, guys. Get it, make sure it's tight. It's an absolute 100% fail, that. Right, I'm not sure I'm going to do this. I wonder if I can prop the camera up on here. This isn't going to happen very well, is it? It's going to end up with the camera in the oil. With you, I've literally just poured the oil in there, and we can see from looking in here, it's absolutely like brand new. So that's nice to see. We can send this in the out tray now with some confidence, and hopefully Michael will bring some check the flag zone like he did last year at Mallory. Okay, YouTubers, it's time to look at James Ibottson's new race engine. I hope he doesn't mind me putting his goodie bits all over the internet, but anyway. But this, I've finished Mike's engine now, so I've been turning my attention to cleaning all this up.
So I've got a kit now. It's Wednesday, so I'll work late tonight. So I'm going to crack on, try and get at least the bottom end together and the head halfway there. So it gives us a fighting chance of getting it on the dyno tomorrow with him. Quite ambitious, but you know, the time is in getting to where we've got to. The assembly isn't too bad when everything's dealt with. So just starting at this end, this is the head that Peter very kindly donated. We've done the guides, cut the seats, refaced it, redone the chambers. Turn it over without all the valves falling out, which should be quite interesting. You can see deepen the spark plug holes, respot face them so that we've got some depth and got a bit of a smaller chamber. Obviously, what else we got? Oh yeah, I was going to show you this. Can you see all the relief I've had to do to the head? Because the cam carrier, the new super duper cam carrier that runs with the new super duper camshaft. Now James is going to be guinea pigging all this for me. I have tested it myself in the offset engine, but this is the new very high lift cam, short duration, and because it's got so much lift, it runs off the edge of the cam follower. So over here what I've got is a bit of a demonstration. These are the new cam followers, the ones from Arrow. They're a 31mm cam follower. This is like a 29.5mm one from an Imp. So you can see it's smaller, but there's two birds with one stone here, because we run a bigger cam follower so that the load doesn't fall off the edge of the follower. But also, if you look, this is the new spring. This is the old spring, the Imp spring. It's quite a considerably smaller diameter, and it's a bit longer as well. And this spring here is the new touring car spring that Bob's very kindly agreed to sell me at a discount price. So he's looked after us there, sorted a set of them out for us. Well, second set we've had was always his set in mine. And then that's the titanium follower that sits in the top of there. Valve cap, sorry, not follower. And then, yeah, all that goes round lovely. So really excited to get all that. I'll come back over here so I don't lose my train. But yeah, this goes on here. And as you can see, what Stuart's done is he's machined it as a billet on his CNC, so that the bucket is fully shrouded all the way to full lift. So there's no chance of any of it going wrong. So I've not put the dials back in yet, but I've machined all that, so it's all got clearance. I've done all the hard work. All that goes round. Obviously we've machined this face back as well. You can see the original angle of face, and then we've tilted it back to get a better angle. All small gains, just because it's his championship and we want to do, well, we want him to do well with it. And then there's my rusty board, so we've just steam cleaned it. This is a brand new 930 block that I have just basically put dry liners in and made it board it to 74mm, and I've re-drilled it for the starter motor. Here we have a brand new Talbot Sunbeam crank, never run. It looks a bit second hand, but it's absolutely bob on, and it's dead straight as well, because it's never been seen any stress. It's not even half a thou bent. Normally they're about a thou bent, and you end up chasing them for an afternoon in the press trying to get them straight. Now obviously, as you can see, this was originally a 5-stud flywheel, but I've modified it to take this this bearing. I'll get one of my bearings out of the box. So I basically turned the standard 930 flywheel into flywheel crankshaft boss into an Imp one, so it's shortened by 12mm. We put this index on that fits the Imp flywheel perfect, and then this little bearing goes in the end here. Put that in with a double Loctite, and that's your new spigot bearing for the input shaft. Just makes a nice job of it all. So done all that. Obviously just been over the camshaft. That's our new bumpy stick. Now we were going to do something funky and put him on a longer rod with a motorbike piston, but I've got to be honest, I do like my Maynard pistons. They just work well. They've got the metric ring pack. They're a Hepalite copy. They're not heavy. They just do the job. So we're going to stick with them for the time being. He's already stripped his engine from last year, his 998, or was it a 1012, sorry, and posted the rods up. So I've got his rods. They've only done 1 or 2 seasons them, so they'll be fine to go again. Obviously mains caps, and then we've just been through all this, the new valve spring, the new valve cap, and the new cam follower. So I'm going to press on now, stop making noise, and actually turn some spanners, try and get this to a stage where it's ready to achieve tomorrow when he arrives. Good morning, YouTubers. It's Thursday morning. I've just finished putting the pistons in. This is James's brand new engine. Everything's brand new, apart from his rods, which were new, so they're not really classed as like old, not like 50 years old anyway. So
I've got him in the workshop grafting. We'll go and find him. We'll go and say good morning to him. He's got a busy day ahead of him. I've got to finish taking this off a dyno. This is Mike's. That's all finished and ready to go. Can I put the heater on for you? You've moved away from it.
It's too hot.
Too hot?
My Shrigley hoodie was too warm.
Oh, yeah. You've had your Shrigley hoodie on, haven't you?
Yeah.
How's it going, James?
We're getting there.
Excellent, mate. You're doing a good job there, lapping them valves in, and we'll get a bit of a build on in a minute.
Yeah. No, this, like you said last week, this head came from Pete at Co-Old Sport.
Yeah?
Thank you very much, Pete.
Yeah, he's a diamond, isn't he, eh?
He's a really good bloke.
Yeah, he wants to see you do well. I think he believes in you. I've told him, I've said to him, I'm the faster driver. But
yeah,
he didn't,
well, you are, yeah.
He didn't just washed over it. I'm only joking.
Yeah.
I got the bigger head, that's for sure.
Yeah.
What I was going to say was, the plan, mate, today is we're going to get you going. The only thing that's an unknown is the shim size, because we've had the cam carriers made taller so that the chains run real nice, and it should all work out bob on. Because I hate it when the chains are like having to have a half link took out of them or put into them and the link took out, you know, to make them not sloppy. So we're going to have to go and get some shims from Bob, but I have to disappear because I've got some duties with the children this afternoon. So I'll just go and do swimming. And then we've got parents' evening.
I'll build myself 1200 while you're away.
Yeah. So I'm going to bring the shutter down, lock you in the workshop.
Yeah.
But it'll just be down. You'll be able to open it from the inside, but it just means no one will mind for you.
He's locking me in.
I'm not locking you,
locking
mate.
Me in.
I'm just really worried that when I come back, there'll be just the whole lot will be in the back of your BMW.
Yeah.
Gone. No, I don't. So yeah, we'll try and give you enough tasks to get on with, and then that keeps you busy. So we'll be really productive with the time. And then we'll just have to keep doing little videos to see how we're getting on. But I'm pretty confident that we can have this on the dyno tonight, and then we can upset all the neighbours in Stretford, ringing its net till 10 o'clock at night.
I love it.
And you can go to work tomorrow. Then it doesn't disrupt your world too much.
Yeah.
Right, Brill. Have you anything you want to say? I feel like I've done all the talking. Do you want to talk about your plans for next year? Have you got anything big plans apart from to dominate? How many imps out?
We've got 8 entered for Donington. So
22nd.
Yeah. So the weekend following on from this video, come along to Donington and watch us all. There'll be 8 of us there, 8 imps. I think there's an entry of it's like 30, 32, 33.
Brilliant.
Cars, so it should be good, yeah.
Oh, that's an awesome entry. It's obviously
a few new faces this year as well.
Yeah,
so, we'll see.
We'll just it'll be good for everyone. I think there's a maximum of potentially 11 imps if I came out, isn't there?
Yeah.
I won't be out though, unfortunately, but
no,
next year after.
Yeah.
Some year.
Yeah, we'll get you there.
Yeah. I've got to move all this junk to the new workshop, so that's going to be my task for this summer.
Yeah.
But I am excited because the new workshop will be a lot better. We could get you your own bench, you know.
That'd be nice.
Yeah,
I come up often enough, don't I? So.
You do like coming with that M1, don't you?
Yeah.
Brill. Right, let you crack on and we'll do another video. Right, later. Just come out to B&J Race Engines to pick up some shims. I've asked Bob if he'll talk to us, but unfortunately he said he's unavailable for interview today. So we've got to make do with this well-dressed chap here. How we doing, Paul?
All right.
Busy?
Trying to be.
Mate, that's a lovely hoodie you've got on there.
Yeah, I know, it's shrunk now.
Mate, we're going to be neighbours next year. Oh, no, this year.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Slow progress on the building, mate.
Well, it's got a roof on now. That's
a start, isn't it? Yeah.
As long as there's no rats in there, I'm happy.
Well, there will be when you move in.
No, I'm not bringing any with me. So what we up to here, mate? What's this?
Right.
Are you sure that stands strong enough to hold that engine?
Well, it hasn't fallen off in the last 24 hours, so it'll be just fine.
Looks rather heavy, that.
Putting a head on it might tip it over the edge. But...
Yeah. Oh, I remember this engine. Big follower. Yeah, brilliant. Well, nice to see you anyway. I'm looking forward to... is there anything else you want to talk to me about? Anything exciting that I can put on Shrigleytube?
Not really. There's always plenty going on.
See, there's a new engine arrived in the workshop, a vegan tune. Avanti. That Bob's latest little treat to himself, is it?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll
Not sure what it's going to go in yet.
Is it like retail therapy, do you think, for Bob?
What, that?
Buying engines?
Yeah, it's an illness, isn't it? Can't help himself.
Okay, chaps, it's Thursday afternoon. I'm here with Mr. Ibottson.
He's worked really hard on his engine. He's been building it. I've been doing little bits for him. I've shimmed, or we've been and got some posh shims from Bob. So we've got all the nice posh shims to go in the big cam follower and all the rest of it. And we've got a clearance on most of them, and it does go round. So the next step now is we're going to put the head on, and then I'm going to abandon you, James. Are you okay with that?
I suppose I'll have to be, won't I?
Yeah, just don't answer the doors to any scrotuses.
No.
Just what I'm just
Lot round
yeah. I should be back within a couple of 3 hours. It doesn't help, but it's parents' evening, so we've got a bit of swimming lessons and parents' evening to deal with, and then once the missus comes back from work, I'll be straight back here, and then we can hopefully do a final shim. We'll get the head on before I go now, and then we'll set you up doing the sump, and then yeah, that'd be great. And then I just wanted to say, it's been really nice having someone help that I can trust. I know I'll keep taking over from everything that you
That's
do.
all right. That's okay.
But it's just a control freak in me. But I know that you know what you're doing, so it's all right. I feel quite confident leaving you to get on with it. So we'll get the head snotted on now. Torque that down. Maybe do a quick check on the shims. I'm nearly got to go. I've got about another half an hour, 3/4 an hour, and then you can get the sump on, and then we'll hopefully the next video we're making noise in the dyno. Right, YouTubers, it's 9:30 at night. James is on a good shift today. What time did you start this morning, James?
I think I was here at 7:30.
You was here at 7:30. What time?
I was up at 4.
4 for Milton Keynes.
Yeah.
Oh, this is hairs on your chest tackle, this, mate. Right, you're doing well. So I reckon next half hour we'll be running. James is just doing the final tweaks before he puts the cam cover on. It's all shimmed. It's all built. Grey glue's going off as we speak. So, James, I know you're busy, but I was thinking, when other drivers have come up here, I've often asked them, like, what inspired them to become a Hillman racer, and what other racing have you done? You've not done anything, have you, other than Hillman's?
Yeah, just imps.
Just imps. What was your first year? I should know this.
2021. That was first time I went racing. Because COVID happened, and I thought, well, if I don't, COVID made you think about things, didn't it? It was horrible, and I thought, right, if I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it. So,
good point.
and
Good
then,
point.
Do you remember Dad put a sarky comment on Facebook, and he said, oh, James needs one of your engines to go racing. And you said, get your car ready, go and get your license, and I'll build you an engine. And then, so I did the car, did the license.
Yeah, you turned up here with your girlfriend.
Yeah, and I said, right, are you happy to do me an engine then? And yeah.
Yeah, the 998.
Yeah, it was a good engine, that.
You know what? It went up to Scotland after. You used it for a year or 2 years, was it?
Used it for a year, won the championship, and then Lewis Duncan bought it.
That was it, yeah.
His car. It was a good engine, that. It was
it was just an old wetline 998, wasn't it? Didn't even have any real power, did it? But
no, I think it did 100 on the dyno. And
did it?
Yeah, it was all right.
I can't remember.
But no, like, I mean, right at the start, I always used to go along with Dad hill climbing. Yeah, and Keith Evans.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah, I know. He always used to look after me, and we used to go to Shelsley Walsh. And when I wanted to watch my dad go up the hill, I always wanted to watch right from the top. So I used to drag him all the way to the top, make him buy me an ice cream on the way up there.
Yeah,
and
fair
then
play.
He'd bring me back down again. And Keith was awesome.
Brilliant.
Funny.
It's funny how early days shape your mind, because I spent all my youth sat in the passenger side of my dad's MGB, standard class MGB, going to race circuits all over. I used to drive it to the circuit.
Right.
And I had no passenger seat. I used to sit on his toolbox and hold on to the roll bar. And I used to egg him on. And we used to do... We used to call it the dizzy swing. We'd keep putting advance in it until it started pinking, and then knock it back like 5 degrees. But we didn't have a timing light. We just did it with paint pens. And that was when I was like 7 or something. I remember it, But good times. And Scammondon Dam and Baintings Dam, I remember particularly. In fact, not wanting to take over the conversation and talk about me, but my first love affair with the Hillman came because I used to go to Baintings Dam and Scammondon with my dad when he did like some Northwest Championship. And the car that I used to follow was a red imp with a yellow stripe.
Okay.
And the bloke used to always tell me about the engine, and that's when I got the first interest, because I watched him go up the hill. And I remember there was a G15 as well. I can't remember what colour it was, but I remember it had a chrome sump on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Anyway,
That's 5 horsepower.
And then once I was at Kerbra with the guy with the red imp, and I was like helping him and everything, and he came past on the straight, and it went bang, 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 like massive explosions. And he just went past the finish line. At Kerbra, you can just do a straight left back into the pits, can't you? So I ran into the pits to see what, and I'm talking like 9 or 10 years old here. And I was like, what's happened? What's happened? And he was like, don't worry, it's not blown up. And all it was he went straight to it. The dizzy had popped out. Yeah. And it just fired out a sequence. But
Didn't your engine fall out as you went over the finish line at Kerbra once?
I did a rear engine hanger from the back panel here to save weight. I had a fiberglass skin on it. And it was like held onto the back panel with cell tappers. I wasn't very professional back then. And I come over the straight and it just fell out. It just rips. It actually ripped the bush clean out. Oh, that was it. Yeah, the bush was still there, but because it'd been moving, it jumped out. And it ground through the sump. And then they like pushed me to one side. Good times. Anyway, getting back to you, mate. Sorry. So you did the Hillman for you've done a couple of free seasons now, haven't you? Last year you were a bit left to your own devices with your own engine, and then this year we've had a bit of a push again, just more time allowance and more a bit of a case of me getting in a better position with the job as well, to be able to say, well, if we do this and this, it'll give you a result. And obviously you're in a better position financially, because this isn't, I mean, obviously I'll sponsor you my time, but you have paid for the engine, so you know, it's your engine to do what you want with. And I just hope you get some good results, and make sure you're the fastest imp and the fastest car on the track. That's all we need, really.
I hope so, yeah. I think this year is going to be good. It's, I think, certainly, even just in the imp class, it's going to be good. I mean, last year was...
Eight imps?
8 imps for Donington, but last year was good, but, and the engine was okay, but it was like, you know, it was probably 10 horsepower shy of a good...
Right.
You know, and
it just made you pedal it harder.
I was having to really drive the wheels off it all year long just to try and keep Brendan behind. And so obviously Brendan's now having a Rodwell engine, and I've got a Shrigley engine, so it's going to be like Rodwell versus Shrigley, Rooney versus Ibottson. So
one big happy family.
I don't want to pour petrol on the fire and spice it up, but I think it's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
It's going to be good, I think.
Just give him a little love rub where no marshals can see you. Yeah. You know, if he gets too close, just put him off a bit. I mean, joking, don't do that.
His paint's much nicer than mine, so I don't mind.
No, I know you.
We're not into that.
James, I always sing your praises and say, you know, you've raced for God knows how many years now, and you never have any contact, do you? You're really good at keeping it clean. Yeah, much better than me. No, you don't drive in a out of control manner. You drive within your limits, and you do what you are an Alan Prost, aren't you? You do what you've got to do to get the trophy. You're not like on the ragged edge, I wouldn't have said. I mean, you can showboat, and you can control the car, but you've got natural car control, which is just not something you learn. It's just something you're born with, and I think you're lucky in that department.
Don't know if I've put cars up enough curbs in Milton Keynes years ago. But,
well, that's
you soon learn.
You do learn, but some people never get there, and you can tell. You can slow a fast driver down, but you can't speed a slow driver up.
No.
So anyway,
I just hate doing bodywork. So
don't we all? Don't we all? I just love engines, but we need to get a tune out of this, because realistically, there's a football match on till 10:30. The United's playing at the ground, so there'll be loads of noise with all them guys. So we're all right till 10:30, but after that, we run the risk of making that neighbours really happy with singing imp engines.
That's it.
So what we'll do is we'll leave all the doors down to run it and run it in, and then when we come to the final blart, we'll have to open the door so that, because the engine hoovers that much air up, we don't want the cell pressure to go negative.
Okay.
and then it'll lose horsepower. So we just need to do that, make sure the fueling's right for the final run. But and you can drive home. If you're lucky and you're home for 4 a.m, then that's like a 24-hour graft, isn't it?
That's all right, yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff, that, mate. You can tell your grandchildren about that.
That's it.
Brilliant.
Sweet.
You can see the... So we've got about 80 at 5.5. And it just comes on at 5.5. It's knackered below that. filling up with fumes because the door's shut. Ever sweet. Right, chaps, that's the end of the evening. It's off the dyno. We've finished trying to break it. We didn't want to be... I think James was a bit alarmed at how cruel it's been to his engine, but I was trying to explain it was on big clearance from the start, so, you know, it won't have harmed it. But if you can finish, be nice to it, give it a good running in with the oil and do a few laps of the Milton Keynes roundabouts. And then ready for next weekend, put your fresh oil in and you'd be good to go then.
Yeah, be all right.
I think you'd be able to make a right mischief of yourself with that. Anyway, safe journey, mate. Please stop for plenty of coffees.
Yeah.
Ring Will Parry. I reckon he'll torch you all the way back to Milton Keynes.
He'll keep me awake, won't he?
Yeah.
I best not ring Brendan. He'll be asleep.
Oh, yeah. His mother tucked him in by now, won't she?
Yeah.
If he's there with his hot cocoa and that.
Yeah.
Right. Brilliant. All right, mate. Well, safe journey, and I'll look forward to seeing you at Brands in a week on Saturday.
Donington.
Bloody hell, I'm just, mate, because it's
Tired.
late. Tired.
Thank you very much.
Mate, you're welcome.
This is awesome. Yeah.
Excellent. Brilliant. Good morning, YouTubers. It's Friday morning. It's the morning after the big event where James, he drove home. He got home at 2:30 this morning. He texted me, bless him, to say he got home safely. So that was good. So I've come in this morning and I think we're going to have a bit of an Andy treat day today. We're going to have a look at my Audi, but I'll just have a look at this first because a customer dropped this... well, I say a customer, he's a new customer, knocked on my door and he said, I've got an imp and the head gasket's blown. He said, if I pull the engine out, would you be able to have a look at it? I said, certainly, drop it off. We'll do whatever we can to get you back on the road. So I thought we'd be into a quick head skim, bit of a block face, and back on the road. It's a Husky this bloke's got, but it's actually a curly edge Mark 1 imp engine, this. And I just zoomed in on the year stamp there. It's an L63, so it's a real early engine, this. Anyway, I just run a file over it to see where it was at, see if the liners were low, and you can see it's touched here and here, but it's just not even touched there. It's really low. So the block, I'm afraid, I can't really put a head gasket on it with any confidence. You see how it's been nibbled there? That's the erosion from lack of antifreeze. It's really attacked it. But what it's done is it's left it nowhere for the, if you put the gasket over it, because it's slightly bigger, the gasket, we're going to be right over where the fire ring sits. And it's just not going to, you know, I can't do it for the bloke and charge him and knowing with any confidence that it's going to last. So we're going to try, I'll ring him up and speak to him, but I'm going to try and find him another block that's not completely cream crackered and flip him into that so he's got something for summer. Or a 930 engine if he prefers to go that way, but I think he just wants cheap hand stuff for the time being. Anyway, we're going to go outside next and look at my little treat I've got lined up for myself. I stand here at my bench every day, with my pal looking over me, Dave Valave. And outside, over the road, you can't really see it, is my Audi 100 S4. And the keen ones amongst you will remember that I've had some problems with it. I've recommissioned it, fuel pump and injectors, and we did all sorts to try and cure the misfire. Well, at Christmas, I fixed the misfire. You couldn't believe what it was. I changed everything, nothing made any difference. And then we went to a classic car show on New Year's Day with the wife, and the exhaust was rattling on the crossmember underneath, so I thought I must fix that rattling because she'll moan about it. So I pulled the exhaust clamp off it and turned it round so it didn't rattle. Got in the car, and the misfire was gone. I was like, what on earth's going on there? And then realised that the rattling on the exhaust pipe, metal to metal, was basically making the knock sensors kick in, and it was pulling the advance out of it. So the misfire was fixed, and it drove lovely. But then we had another issue, which we'll go and talk about now. Bit of a better image of the car here. It's a bit rough, but it's a proper beast, this. 6-speed, 4-wheel drive, manual, 20-valve, 5-cylinder turbo engine. And I've had one of these for years. I had one for like maybe 10 years ago. I actually had a UR Quattro back in the day, but anyway, these are an absolutely underrated machine. These are a proper car. However, we fixed the misfire, and then I was in traffic in the snow, so it must have been the middle of January, and suddenly smoke started bellowing out from the bonnet, and it went onto 4 pots. So I sussed out that it's number 5 injector, for whatever reason, when you pull it off, it wasn't firing. And then you can't really see now, but there's oil oozing out of the manifold studs. So I was thinking, what on earth could have gone wrong? It's like the head's cracked or gone porous or something. It was like neat engine oil dripping out the manifold. There was smoke everywhere. I thought, you know what, it's still running, it's got oil pressure, it's got an oil pressure gauge. I just drive it to the workshop. So I drove it to the workshop, parked it up, and I've been so busy trying to get ready for the start of the race season that I've not been able to get to it. However, last night when we got James out, he was the last one for the start of the season. We still got another guy called David to do, but he's not out till the second round. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to treat myself today. I've done well this week. We've had some good results. Everything's gone like clockwork. So I'm going to pull the head off this now. So I'm going to take the bumper off, get some access, and then you can join me in a minute and we'll hopefully get the head off this morning and see what's gone wrong with it. I suspect it's cracked because it just went instantly. I was in traffic, went down on the cylinder, smoke everywhere, oil everywhere. Never seen anything like it. It hasn't done the coolant. So I don't see that it could be the head gasket. It's got to be a crack of some type. Anyway, the truthful out. It's a glorious day here in St. Retford. Unfortunately, we've not quite got as far as I wanted to with the old AAN turbo 5-cylinder engine. I had a right old drama getting the turbo bolts off. They were all really tight. I WD-40'd everything. I can see the inlet, the exhaust manifold has just literally got oil pooled inside it. So it's coming out of either 4 or 5 cylinder neat. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but I had to take all the front off obviously because we've got to get the belt off. But remarkably good condition for, you know, a K-Reg car. Just need to undo the inlet manifold now. I'm going to try and hoik that over there. The turbo will stay still and slide off, and then we can get this last bolt off, which will release it from the downpipe. And then we can get some proper access to it and see what's happened. But there's nothing majorly obvious at this stage. Just going to have to get deeper into it, I'm afraid, to find out what the problem is. But it's definitely fixable. So that'll be next week's job. Once we've done some more work, obviously, we'll try and break off. If we get a sunny afternoon and have another couple of hours on it, we'll get the head off then.
Hello Andy, just thought I'd give you a quick update on the Escort and the engine since you've rebuilt it. We've just been away to Bovington, did a rally there, 2-day rally. There was 89 people entered, I think there was 89, and 15 of those were Escorts, and there was some Millingtons, there was some 330 horsepower Escorts. We managed to finish 6th overall, and we were the first Escort. So well chuffed, best result I've ever had. The car was sweet, it was running like a dream. Brilliant job, Andy. I can't thank you enough, really appreciate it. And yeah, just thanks again.
Jersey Tim. Congratulations, YouTubers. You've made it through to the end of Shrigleytube. Hope you enjoyed what you've seen. If you are available next Saturday, then we'll be at Donington Park to watch the Imps in the daytime, and then on to Northampton in the evening to watch just the Formula 1 stock cars. So, brilliant. I'll let you in peace now, and I'll speak to you next Sunday at 7. Bye for now.